More now from my interview with second gentleman Doug Emhoff shortly before he took the stage last week at a campaign rally in Athens, Georgia. Among the topics we discussed, how the polls have become much tighter since Harris's honeymoon period in August. Why is it that this race is still tied? Because if you talk to people, the Trump campaign off the record, you talk to people in the Harris campaign off the record, they'll say this race is tied. Why?
Well, it is close.
But why aren't those things would have been disqualifying for any Democrat or any Republican in the past? Why aren't they now?
No, they should be. And I don't think people are hearing what he's saying because, again, there's this fog, this Trumpian fog, all the gaslighting, all the misinformation, the disinformation, and people not willing to see what's right in front of their face.
How do you cut through that? You got less than a month to cut through it.
This is why we are out here each and every day in each of the 7 swing states, each and every day. This is why we're rallying Republicans, moderates, independents. This is why our tent on the Democratic side goes, massively wide. There's a place for everyone here. And again, you don't have to agree with Kamala Harris on every single policy position, although many people actually agree on most if they actually pay attention to what she's saying. Mm-hmm. But we must agree on who we are as a country, our democracy, our rule of law, our free and fair election system. If you lose, you have to exit the stage. The perpetuation of the big lie, which is like a cancer, it's like a poison coursing through the veins of our democracy.
You're talking about Republicans, Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney, Ken Edelman, over 100 people from Republican administrations, and even on hurricane relief. The Republican governor of Georgia, the Republican governor of Tennessee, the Republican governor of South Carolina, the Republican senator from North Carolina, the Republican, there are Republicans that are stepping out and saying Donald Trump is not telling you the truth.
Yeah, people need to listen to that. And also they should pay attention to the Republicans who have come out and said they're not supporting Donald Trump, including Vice President Pence, including Secretary Esper, General Kelly, the people who are right in the room who know he's unfit for any job, let alone president. This isn't all about how horrible Trump is, and he is, but this is also about how great she is. And she's putting herself out there. And if people want to know more, she's been doing media. It's not just the debate. It's not just her rallies. She just did a great piece with Howard Stern, which was just her. She's doing podcasts. She just did The View. She did 60 Minutes, unlike Trump, who would not do that. She just shot a town hall for Telemundo.
Do you think Donald Trump's not doing that because he's mentally unfit?
I don't know what he thinks in his head, but it's just obvious by looking at him, listening to him. You can see the degradation in front of your eyes. I mean, I've said many times he's degraded. He's a degrading version of an already horrible person, and he's just getting worse and worse and worse. So people need to pay attention to that. And also for some folks who thought, well, we may not like his style, but we liked his policies. Remember, the folks that were around him when he was president, there were some, so-called normies who kept the lights on, who helped actually save our democracy after the election until the inauguration of Biden and Harris. Those folks will not be there this time.
You're Jewish. Donald Trump says that if you're a Jew and you don't support him, you're not a good Jew. And throws out some of the biggest anti-Semitic tropes that have historically been thrown out there about dual loyalty and so many other things. What do you think about the anti-Semitism that we've seen not only over the past year, but have seen rising over the past several years?
Myself, we have been leading on pushing back on anti-Semitism, but just go back to Charlottesville in the Trump era. Remember Charlottesville, the
Jews will not
replace us, and that's when Donald Trump said, hey, there's fine people on both sides. The Tree of Life murder massacre in Pittsburgh, that was during the Trump era. So there was already a rise in anti-Semitism when Biden and Harris took office. So as second gentleman, with a very big push from Kamala Harris, because when they got elected and I had to step away from my career, I was wondering, okay, what am I going to do with this role? And it was Kamala who said, look, you're the first Jew ever. There's a rise in anti-Semitism. You need to get out there and use your voice. And of course, since October 7th, there's been a crisis of anti-Semitism. But as what Trump said at an event purporting to fight anti-Semitism, and then to say what he said, the tropes, the bile that came out of his mouth, it is, as we say, the height of chutzpah. Yes, there's reason to be alarmed, but I always say I'm so proud to be Jewish, and I'm not going to live in fear. And this is my message to all Jews out there.
So I've known you, and I've known your wife, the vice president, before she was vice president. And I've always known you all to be down to earth. And then you got shot out of the cannon. And then suddenly she's walking into arenas with 15,000 people screaming like she's a rock star. You're getting endorsements from Taylor Swift. And I've talked to you all once or twice since. And Mika and I both said that you all were freakishly, weirdly, bizarrely normal. I've been around a lot of people that run for president that were in the position that you all are in now, and they tighten up and they get nervous, and I don't recognize them until after the election's over. I'm wondering what's grounding you all?
I think that's just who we are. I mean, I came to politics very late. I had a whole career as a Hollywood lawyer where no one wants to hire a shaky lawyer. I've learned how to, be confident under extreme stress and stay calm under extreme stress as a living. I think I'm wired that way. She's certainly wired that way. I think that's one of the reasons that got us together. But we also understand the circumstances. We understand that she had to step up. I had to step up. Our family had to step up because what's at stake. So we are taking this beyond seriously, but we are who we are, and we're going to still be ourselves, but we're out there and we're just continuing to talk about what more can we do to win this election each and every day, while still being ourselves, and that's who we are.
Tell us in closing something about Kamala Harris that you think people may not know, or that people should have a better understanding of? Well,
she's just so, family oriented. She's fun. She's fun loving, but that's the joyful part. But, you got that warrior part. I say the joyful warrior. So fiercely devoted to her family, to our relationship, to sticking up for others, but also, sticking up for everyone else. I think she's an amazing person, and I'm so proud of her to step up under extreme pressure, extreme scrutiny, where the stakes could not be higher for our country, our world. And it's still her. It's still the joyful warrior that I'm so in love with.